Hello everyone, welcome to Manga Boys Reading Manga Log. I was in Cancun this past weekend, so I didn't read, not this past week. So I didn't have time to do a manga reading log, and I left on Saturday last weekend, so I didn't read a whole lot that week. So this is like my culmination of two half getting able to read reading logs. And I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16 volumes. Still a decent haul. So let's start here. We've got Fire Force Volume 24. Fire Force is great. We've got Arthur, getting his new sword ready. We have, a few of the underlying mysteries getting solved. We have Sho going to see his brother. This mention of traveling through dimensions with the third eye, that'll be interesting. I just can't wait. They're setting up so many plot points that I can't wait to see them resolve. I mean, this guy who I hated, he shows back up and he's like helping people so he can get his promotion. That was cool too. A lot of funny moments to his sister Iris. I can't wait to read more about this though. Fire Force has so many mysteries and setups going on right now that I'm just like hooked. I wish there was more of it, but there's not. At least not in English yet. So check this out if you guys haven't started reading Fire Force yet. It has gotten way better from the beginning. I did not think it was going to be that great from the first few volumes. I just thought it was okay, but it has really blown up. I'm loving it these days. We have Eden Zero, Volume 12. Another series I didn't think I was going to like that much, but I actually like quite a bit. We have Shiki's Master Ziggy show back up in this one. We have the finale of Doc and Joe. This is another quality read, It's a lot better than It's a lot better than Fairy Tail. I haven't read Brave Master yet, but from what I remember of Brave Master, this is way better than Brave Master even. The last fight's really cool. You get to see, Shiki turn into this form here, which is like a full ether form. We get to find out more about the universe. Ziggy comes back, and he's like evil now, and so that's probably going to be the next big bad. He's got a whole new crew. He's on the Eden's One now, so that's really cool too. So again, this is going places I'm very interested to see. It's a nice kind of transitioning arc volume where it ends one arc, they do a few little things, and then they hightail it into the next arc. So that nice and quick, they definitely don't give you a lot of time to breathe between the arcs anymore, which is really good in my opinion. Heaven's Design Team Volume 2 and 3. Heaven's Design Team is good, but I have kind of started to wean myself out of it because it's so hard to read all this back to back. It's something that I'm going to have to read, what's the word for it? A little bit more sparingly. I think I should only be able to read one a month because it's so much information and plot details, but there's no overarching plot really besides making God happy. It's cool to see what's going to happen with Hell and things like that, and they introduced the Galapagos Islands, which is cool too. But overall, it's just a lot of information, so it takes a long time to read it. For things that just aren't that interesting to me, well, I take that back. They're really interesting to me, but the story's not that interesting to me. If the main concept wasn't so relatable to real life, I probably would not have read this past Volume 2. I probably would have been like, nope, that's enough. I'll be done. But it's really interesting to see I think it was a chinchilla's this thing here, but it looks so crazy, and it licks its eyes. It has 2 tongues. It's just wild to me. So some of these are really cool, but again, there's no real story to Heaven's Design Team. Make what God wants. That's the story for the most part. But learn a lot about cool animals in the meantime and myths. Oh, and this one they also show you how the Cyclops was made. And I think it's because an elephant skull, which is right here, this is the nose hole to a skeleton of an elephant, and then that's where the eyes go over here on both sides. And so I was like, holy shit, I had no idea. So it's probably true. That's probably where the Cyclops came from. they saw an elephant skeleton. And I was like, shit, that makes so much sense. Okay, so while I was on vacation, I did bring Grand Blue Dreaming and Jojos. So I was on the beach reading a manga about diving and, you know, drinking. So, okay, if you guys have never heard of Grand Blue Dreaming, it's a manga where this guy goes to college and he's going to stay at his aunt's or his uncle's house, and his cousins are there. And uncle runs a diving club. He doesn't run the diving club, but he runs the, what's the word for it? He runs like the diving supply store, I suppose. So there's a whole bunch of just like hilarious jokes. If you guys have ever read GTO, it's very similar to GTO, or Air Gear, it's very similar to Air Gear as well. Sometimes they go in diving, but it's a lot of fun because, just like everyone says, you know, it's reminiscent of college days. It's reminiscent of, you know, just exploring the world and having fun, but also it's hilarious, you know. They go way out of their way to be obscene and just crazy. They have the craziest faces that are hilarious too. And they just get into some crazy antics, you know, you just gotta love it. They also turn into huge heavy drinkers because the diving club has all these like heavy drinking macho men, and they ask for water, so the diving team seniors will give them vodka, like a glass of vodka, and they say, oh, it's the color of vodka, so don't worry about it. And they're like, no, there's a lot more that goes on here. So they end up trying to light the drinks on fire before they drink them in the future. But it's, you know, definitely more mature. There's no nudity in it, but there's like a lot of suggestive themes in it. So I probably wouldn't read it unless you're 18 and older. I mean, it says you can read if you're 16, but like promotes underage drinking. There's like some very, very close porn. There's like a lot of men porn for the most part. The guys are constantly naked in this manga, but it's hilarious. The part of it that reminds me of GTO is really the facial expressions and the fact that all of the friends are virgins. And so a big thing in GTO was everybody wanted to like lose their virginity. And if you were going to lose it, then you were considered a traitor, and they would go out of their way to make your life miserable. It was so funny. So they do that here. They make this guy, he's about to have sex for the first time. And so they tried to sabotage him. So we have here an order of 200 AVs. AV is slang for adult video. And so they see them sliding through the door. They're like, man, I can't believe you'd give him your prize collection. And he's like, oh, well, you know, it's for a greater cause. And so he slides them through the door. Meanwhile, this guy, he's really good at voice acting, so he makes all these different girls sound like there's a bunch of women outside the door, and then he's cheating. So the girl he's about to have sex with walks out. So it's pretty funny. But they do actually go diving every once in a while. It's true. Hard to believe, but it does happen. Probably once or twice a volume. This is great. There's a voice actress that's singing a concert, and so he's all decked up, ready to go. This is just such a good manga. If you guys haven't read it, it's like a really high quality gag manga about a bunch of losers and kind of their adventure through college. So it's pretty relatable, I'd say, to most people. I would say most people was a loser at some time in their life. Here we have Jojos Volume 7. Jojos, what can I say that isn't said about Jojos on the daily? It's epic, it's sick. We have a really good Highway Go-Go fight here. It's always interesting to have Rohan and Josuke team up since, you know, they hate each other the most. I think this volume has two, yeah. So there's one where he's rolling a dice and he's getting all of his money out of Rohan. He's scheming and cheating. Meanwhile, we also have these Kira kind of like B-side stories at the end of each volume, which is very interesting. And that very nice drawing of a cat right there. So you get to kind of see what the killer's up to while Josuke is kind of messing around. But he's not really messing around. I mean, he's fighting like the stand that Kira's dads are making, but like in this grand scheme of things, seems like he's really just messing around. But yeah, this is I finished all of Jojos, so that was really epic. You know, I love Jojos. I actually got a better appreciation for this part because I didn't think the anime did such a good job with it, but reading it was really good. I really see why people like Rohan now and Josuke, and especially sometimes people like him more than Jotaro. So very cool. This is a very intense read right here. This last volume, I won't show any pages in it. It's super thick, and there's like a huge time crunch in it, and a lot of crazy stuff going on with people who there shouldn't be anything going on with. So you know, they're innocent bystanders getting in the way. But that's what I read this week. You know, it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff. I was so glad to read it all. I have a really good haul for you this coming up soon, guys. But yeah, that's why I didn't post anything last week, was because I wasn't really here. I could have done things ahead of time, but I really feel like I haven't had that much time to do it. I have been busy. Well, I'll show you in a later haul what I've been busy doing. So until that later haul, I'll see you next time. Bye.